The ranked tournaments start tomorrow, so today I'm going to tell you 5 ways to prepare for the tournaments. Timestamps are in the description, but before we get into the video, let me just thank you for clicking on this video. It means a lot to me, and you're going to want to watch to the end because this video will change the way you prepare for tournaments. The first and most important thing you need to do before a tournament is to plan ahead and know when the tournament starts. I know it sounds obvious, but many people start late, which leads to them to not qualify for the finals. All you have to do is take a minute to check what time the tournament starts, and that can be the difference between qualifying and falling short of qualifying because you ran out of time. If you're serious about doing well in tournaments, you need to make sure you play as many as possible so you can improve. This also includes finding a duo for the Duos Cups and a squad for the Squads Cups. You need to find a duo who's serious about playing Fortnite and communicate with them to when you want to start playing the tournament. The next thing you need to do is play lots of zone wars. In every endgame in the Cash Cups, there are moving zones, and to practice placing well in moving zones, you need to play zone wars. My favorite zone war map is Forever Zone Wars, which is a great warm-up as well as being fun and chaotic. Zone wars should be essential for anybody who is preparing for tournaments. You need to learn how to maneuver the endgame without dying and how to conserve heals for the heal off. Zone wars teaches you many things necessary for getting points in tournaments. It teaches game sense, how and when to take height, when to rotate, how to conserve mats, and when to loot up a dead body. People overlook zone wars and just play 1v1s, which will get you good at mid-game fights but won't prepare you for the endgame. So make sure you play plenty of zone wars as a warm-up for the tourney and before the tournament to prepare. Tip number 3, which is the most important when actually playing a tournament, is to have a game plan. 3 things make up a good game plan, and those are a drop map, a loot route, and a farming route. Drop maps aren't necessary, but they can be game-changing. If you get to your spot 5 seconds before your opponent does, you can kill them before they kill you, and that can lead to you having a great game. But if you didn't have a drop map, you could have dropped there and you would have died because they got there before you. You can either pay for a drop map on a website or spend a little bit of time making one yourself for free. All you have to do is keep landing at the same spot over and over, and when you have a perfect drop, mark where you deployed your glider. The next and most important thing you need to have is a loot route. If you can get good loot easily in the early game, the rest of your game should go well as long as you use your loot to your advantage in fights. A good loot route should give you at least 3 weapons and full shield every time you land there. You can easily find loot routes by watching videos or just exploring the map. There are many you can find, and there is an infinite combination of routes you can make. The strategy I use for tournaments is in the top right hand corner, so go check it out. The last route you need is a farming route. You need a farming route that gives you consistently good mats, and it should be near your drop spot. A good farming route should give you at least 500 wooden bricks so you have plenty of mats for the rest of the game. Now moving on to tip number 4, which is to know the meta and the map. This is very important because knowing the meta as well as the map is crucial to surviving in tournaments. You need to know the meta well because if you can't tell what weapon your opponent is using, judging by how they're playing and what they're doing, you will be at a disadvantage. Many pro players can tell what shotgun their opponent is using just by looking at their playstyle. And you can do this too by playing lots of ranked and battle royale and getting used to the playstyles of different shotguns. You also need to know the meta because if you don't know the ins and outs of rotating items like the grapple blade, you will have a hard time rotating in the endgame. Enough about the meta. Map knowledge is just as important as the meta. Map knowledge is necessary if you want to have good loot and be able to rotate better. With good map knowledge, you can find slurp rolls and be able to get full health just by using your knowledge to find heals in the map. Map knowledge also gives you an edge in the early game fights, allowing you to know your surroundings, get loot quickly, and find cover when fighting off spawn. Just play ranked until you feel comfortable about your map knowledge, and you'll just learn over time. The last tip, which is the easiest to do, is to watch pro players play tournaments and learn from them. There is a difference between their skill level and yours, so try to find what makes them play differently and get higher placements. Once you find out what they're doing differently, try to copy them and then you'll get extraordinary results. You can look at how and when they take fights in the mid game. You can watch how they rotate in the end game to learn better strategies. Watching pros play is underrated because how will you learn without a teacher? Watching pros has increased my skill dramatically by learning their strategies and playstyles. You can always learn different things from pros, and then you can practice it to improve your own skill. I specifically watch Jivin and Ken Beans on YouTube, but there are tons of pros out there, and all you have to do is find one you like to watch. If you enjoyed the video, click the video in the middle of the screen, because I know you'll like it. Subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Jesus loves you, and I hope you have an awesome day.